Today we are going to talk about one of the most intuitive and feminine tarot decks ever, the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Hello my love, it's Rachel here and I'm happy because today we are going to talk about my favorite tarot deck. So we are going to start by talking about some of her technical features. Then I'm going to share about her personality and how I work with this deck, my experience working with her. So we are going to start by saying that this deck is published by US Games, so the quality is top-notch, it's beautiful. It is a pretty chunky deck, right? Let me compare here. Here we have my Rider-Waite, so the traditional size, standard size, tarot size, slightly larger. Borderless, which I think that is important for this kind of artwork because it is a beautiful card work. We want to see details. We have these beautiful silver edges. Wow! And look at this. It's super elegant. These bags, they are super elegant. They're super elegant. This is a deck that was created to be a feminine deck. That was the creator's intention. She even added some extra cards, so let me show you here. She added an extra emperor, so we have the male and the female. For me, it doesn't look like a female, but the kings, the female and male kings, they are very nice. Look at this. Cups. Wands. Swords, they're gorgeous, both gorgeous. I mean, all of them are gorgeous, right? And pentacles. So you can choose which one you prefer to add to your deck. But even though she gives these options, we have male and female represented in this deck. For me, that's very important. I like to have this balance. I'm not a huge fan of decks that only depict women. I think we need this balance. And even before we start, guys, I want to share with you something important. Back then, or I don't know if it was her first deck, I think it was the Oracle of Mystical Moments. I saw this deck back then, I had to have because I really love the artwork, and we didn't work well together. It doesn't, I don't know, we just couldn't have a relationship, a nice relationship. It just doesn't work for me, and because of that I almost didn't buy the tarot when it was published. And I'm so glad I did because I said, okay, I love the artwork, I'll give it a try, and I was feeling like I should try. And I published a video here sharing with you some of my tips for, you know, understanding if a deck really should come to our collection, because we don't want to just buy decks that are not meant to our collection, or not buying decks that are meant to be in our collection, right? I think these are the technical, and the cardstock's glossy, which I think that is important for this beautiful artwork. A little slippery, so I already had this deck falling all over my floor. I don't love that, but it's okay. I love her so much. I am willing to handle that kind of issue once in a while. So the Tarot of Mystical Moments, it is what it is, a tarot of mystical moments. So she's feminine because that's the way the creator intended her to be, but because she really, really feels like a feminine deck, she really, really, really ignites our feminine energy. Look at this card. So I'm showing you some of my favorite cards. We have flowers, we have colors that allow this deck to have a dreamlike quality. It is a deck with a very wise voice. It is not loud and she's not quiet as well. She's very talkative, but in a very wise way, in a very feminine way. And thinking about elements, for me, in my experience, I feel that this deck has a lot of earth. She's very grounded. And she has a lot of water She really, really, really taps into our emotional states. She's really able to trigger something inside of us emotionally. And she's so present, she's so kind, she's so compassionate that we feel like we can open up when we are working with her. And that makes this deck a beautiful deck for shadow work as well. Because I am planning to share a video about shadow work and decks for shadow work and some of my thoughts that are a little different on this subject. And the importance of having such a loving deck in our collection is huge. And I have another video here that I shared three kinds of decks that I think that everybody should have. And one of them would be your comfort deck. She's my comfort deck. She is not a mother deck for me, not a daughter, not an older sister, not a best friend. She's a me deck, not a soulmate deck. It feels like she's Rachel's soul expressed in a tarot deck. That's the closest that I could get to this kind of relationship with the deck. She's unique for that. And one of the reasons I think that happens because this deck is extremely versatile. This deck's beautiful for dream work. Oh my God, she can go into places that you cannot imagine. You can't imagine, girl. She can get there. She's beautiful for shadow work because she's teaching us something, but she's loving enough, kind enough for us to open up and show our shadows for her, to her, and ourselves as well. I use this deck in my personal work, of course, because she's a Rachel deck, and I use her in my professional work as well. And sometimes I show the images to the client in a session, and they are able to tap into some inner wisdom in a way that they are surprised. They say, I can't read tarot. I don't know how to read. How is this image telling me so much about me? That's how magical she is. That's how fantastic she is. And I use this deck for all kinds of readings, guys. Career-oriented readings, professional readings, about relationship, about spiritual path, everything. And I use her for all kinds of readings for myself as well. As I told you, even dream work, even shadow work. She's very, very versatile, and I think it's important to think about that when we are adding a deck into our collection. I work with her every day for daily draws. When I'm going to do some inner work, and sometimes you want a specific deck for an inner work, right? But sometimes you don't. And when I want something that is allowing me to talk to my soul, to allow me to really, really, really be able to listen to my soul, I love working with her. So she is my go-to. It is my traditional or OG Rider-Waite-Smith and this deck. She's there for everything for me. I love her very much. And I think the fact that I think you saw already the image. Look at this one, the Six of Wands. It's not that traditional. It is Rider-Waite based. She was based on this lineage of tarot, but can you see, you don't have the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith image, so it allows us to expand the review about that card. And then when I'm working with her, I allow my soul to talk to me. So sometimes it feels like I'm going to work with the title, so what the card's traditional meanings, let's say, and the image. Sometimes the images, they pop up, and they're asking me to tap into my intuition much more than the system. And the only way to know this kind of things is working with tarot, and I'm going to tell you, like, on a daily basis. We have to create a relationship with the deck, with the decks, with the system, right? And that's something that this deck allows us to, well, she allows us to push our wisdom when it comes to tarot a little further, a little deeper as well. And as I told you, she's deep, she's intense, but she's not heavy. So I love tapping into shadow work with her because of that. She's not going to slap you in your face, she's not going to kick you in your ass. She's not that kind of deck, but she's going to show you the truth. She's going to tell you exactly what you have to hear, right here and right now. If you're looking for a deck to tap into your feminine wisdom, into your personal spirituality, or as a personal spirituality too, I strongly recommend this deck. Look at this. Isn't it childlike? I think it reminds me of my childhood books. It is the Eight of Cups. Look how beautiful, how gorgeous it is. I can't imagine my life without this deck, guys. I can't. So now I'm going to add our cards here. I don't use the extra cards. Some people do that. I don't, because it's not the way I read tarot. I only have one of each. But it is what it is. It is the way I read tarot. But if you like to have your extra cards in a reading, you can totally do that here. I would love to have other kinds of card stock. You know, so I even went after an indie edition, because I said I'm going to totally invest in an indie edition. But truth is, there is no indie edition, because this deck, Catherine, she was invited by US Games to create a deck, so there's no indie version. I forgot to share a little bit about the guidebook. The guidebook's very simple but very nice. So we have the meanings here, and she describes the image a little bit, which I think that is nice. It's important for us to understand what the creator sees in the card, especially when they are not a clone, right? And then when it comes here to the kings, so we have here, as I showed you, we have a male and a female king. But the meanings, they are the same. She describes the image because they're different, but the meanings, they are the same. It doesn't change the meanings. So now, let's draw one card for us. Like, let's ask the Tarot of Mystical Moments some kind of insight about our own feminine wisdom, right? Our intuition, our cycles. Let's ask her. Oh, and we have here the Three of Swords. So we can see here, it is a male. It's one of the few males that we have in the deck. And you can see that instead of a heart, we have a flower there. Flower is a representation of the feminine, and we have specifically a rose there. So it feels like many of us here in the community, maybe we are with the wounded feminine going on right now. I'm even planning a video on healing the mother wound. I think it's important. And especially this time of the year, when things can become a little overwhelming, we can get tired, especially because we are ending a year 9, 2025. It's been a little heavy for some of us. I have seen that in sessions with my clients and students. And this card's telling us that there's some hurt going on in our feminine right now, in our feminine wisdom. The thing about this card, in my opinion, is that it is swords. So it is about our thoughts, especially our thoughts when I think about this card. Pain, guys, is something that we will go through throughout our lives. Pain is natural. It's going to happen. We are in the material world. But suffering is optional, because suffering is like playing the same thing, the same situation again and again in our minds, and making and feeling that all over again. So I have an invitation for you as well. What kind of painful moments or situations or thoughts have you been playing over and over again that is bringing you this suffering right now and not allowing you to tap into your feminine wisdom, embodying your feminine wisdom, and being that feminine wisdom, overflowing this wisdom in your life and others as well. That's the invitation of this card for us. So I told you she's very intuitive, she's very feminine, she's beautiful, she's my favorite tarot deck, at least. Well, we never know about the future, but so far she's my favorite tarot deck. I would like to hear your thoughts about this deck if you have her. And thank you so much for being here, my dear. And I say that I really, really, really appreciate your presence here. It's not just something that I am, like empty words. No, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you in the next video. Lots of love, my dear.